Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? No game to talk about tonight, but we've got a big game and a big tournament coming up. So we're going to talk about if we are ready for that tournament or not. So let's everybody get busy in the chat room and start talking and let you guys help drive the show. But as always, I don't do this by myself. Everybody say hello to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. How you doing tonight, Ed?
Peter Brown, how's it going, man? No game to watch, but we're getting ready for the Club World Cup. And are we ready, Peter?
I think that's like a nervous laughter, nervous laughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, what's it gonna look like? Anyways, yeah, it's funny is I didn't even watch a single MLS game this weekend. I just totally disconnected. Normally I'll watch, some games, and I might watch a game tonight. There's I think after at like at 9 o'clock or something like that, LAFC's playing. I might watch that game, but I didn't watch anything this weekend. And normally, when there's no Inter Miami game, I'm all over the MLS 360 and I'm engaged and I'm watching all that stuff. But this time I was like, I totally disengaged. You know, I went to the Sawgrass Mills Mall with the wife and did nothing yesterday. That is. Today I lounged around the pool all day and went for a bike ride that you make fun of me because it's an electric bike, but
Yeah, is that really exercise, Peter Brown?
Hey, I'm pedaling. I'm pedaling. It's not full. It's not. It's pedal assist. It's not full.
Oh,
I
all
still have
right,
to pedal. So,
all right.
anyways, so yeah, it was an interesting weekend without any Inter Miami for a change. So, all right. Before we get too far, let's tell you guys where you need to go shopping, and that is Canesworth. Canesworth is located in Davie, Florida, just south of 595 on University Drive. They have the messiest wall in all of South Florida. At the end of the day, they've got the best deals, and you need to follow them on Twitter or Instagram or whatever social media you like. They're on them all. So follow them because they're quite often tweeting out sales and things like that. So, take advantage of their pricing. So, go check them out. You want to support us, support them. So,
Dude,
and
at Gainesware, we got
that's
everything
right.
at Gainesware. I had a soccer ball around here, but that I got from for the kids over here at Kingsware. So yeah, and plus, if you tell them that that you saw them on Football Miami TV, you can get a discount, or just tell them FMTV 10. That'll work
Yeah,
too.
that's on the website. Yeah, the ball you were talking about, I have that ball and I bought it there as well, but I bought it like year 1 or something. They still sell it.
Oh, which one, Peter?
The same ball you're talking about, but mine's bigger.
Oh yeah, I got the
Like
little
you have the
one.
mini ball. You have the mini version of this,
I
right?
sure do. And my secretary went to go get the little one because apparently she was playing. And
Yeah.
she's like, she saw it. Oh, here it is. She brought it. Show it. Show it to them. Show it to them. There you go.
I got
The
the
little.
same thing.
Thank
But
you.
but mine
For
has two
assisting.
autographs. Mine has two autographs on it.
Show off.
Kermosky and Gregory.
I should have done that, but I didn't get it that day. I got it another day.
Well,
So,
I think I already owned it at that time. I think I brought it with me. I don't know. Whatever. Let me put that
but
down.
it worked.
Yeah. All right. Let's say hi to those of you in Canada. And somebody in Canada. Somebody is asking LM10 HD says, does Canesworth ship to Canada? Yeah. They do some international shipping. One time I was there, I went and I asked them about the international shipping. They said they were doing it to where I know they'll ship to Canada, but other than that, I don't know as far as because it also eventually it starts to get to the point where they may offer the shipping out like to I don't know. Let's just pick a country, Egypt, since we're playing a team from Egypt. Maybe they would send it there. I don't know. You can contact them. But I mean, the
Yeah.
price of the shipping probably would not even be worth it because shipping gets expensive. But Canada, yeah, that's United States North.
Yeah, that's America's hat. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, that's easy.
And yeah, and if you let our president, do anything about it, it'll be the 51st state.
Yeah, why not? All right, let's say hi to those those of you in the chat, first person I see here is Nick Smith. Aloha.
Aloha.
Young 305 Easy is here. Louis Rodriguez is here. Chris Arjun, everybody's favorite photographer. Oh, yeah. Mr. Krabs is here. Let's put a star next to one of these. Julio Enriquez is here as well. And LM10 is here, who mentioned. And Aaron Lee from Colorado. I said I didn't watch any MLS games. I think I clicked onto the Colorado game. Was it Colorado? Or yeah, there was a game I saw in Colorado. I forgot who they were playing. I didn't watch the game, but I just clicked onto it for a second, and I was surprised by how packed the stadium looked, because Colorado quite often is kind of like one of those old school MLS cities that seems to always have kind of a half empty stadium, kind of like Dallas. There's a few places, Red Bull, a few places that seem to still struggle a little bit. And I was really surprised to see a really good crowd in Colorado. I don't remember who they were playing, or even if that was last week's game I'm talking about. Because sometimes, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll watch last week's games during this week because I didn't see the score. So why not?
Right.
All right. So, also, if you want to leave a voicemail, 786-474-4435. We have one voicemail, and it's somebody we haven't heard from in a while. So that'll be good. We'll get into that soon. Mike V is here. He's checking in from the movie theater. Don't go watch Mission Impossible. Oh, I want to see that. Is it bad? I mean,
he
look,
ruined it for you.
if Mike V is watching us while he's in the movie theater, that's a bad sign about the movie. The movie must, if you'd rather watch us instead of the movie, even if it's only for a minute, that's not a good sign for that movie.
It must be bad, man. It must be really bad.
Yeah. Here, wait, another one popping in. Jerry Barrios is here. All right, so let's start with what he's talking about. Jerry says it's 1,000% embarrassing that at this juncture, this team has not gotten any players to replace Taylor and Gressel, but mainly to be competitive for the Club World Cup. So, Club World Cup. So, we have a special window that opened June 1st to June 10th, and as of right now, we only have 2 more days left in this window. But Eric Thomas says that Mission Impossible is hot garbage. This is going to turn into the nerd show real quick. But we had that window, and all teams in the Club World Cup have that same window. But it almost feels like that window is so short, and the window also occurs in the middle of an international break where players are focused with their national team. They're not focused on negotiating a contract with another team. It seems like it was a window that was open just to say, hey, we opened up a window special for you guys, but you really can't get much done with that window.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. Peter, like you said, there's World Cup games on Tuesday. I think Tuesday's the last day, if I'm not mistaken. And there are games going on. So how can you even talk to the players? You're right. They're, with the World Cup teams, and they're, busy doing stuff. I mean, yeah, I guess they could talk to their agents, but, you want the player to say, okay, let's do it or not do it. Ronaldo came out saying that, a couple teams approached him, Botafogo, I think it was, and another one in Portugal. And, he definitely said that, they were interesting offers, but, I guess other teams also had like non-realistic offers. But it seems like he's not going to go with any team. He did also come out in another interview talking about the possibility of playing with Messi, that he'd love to do it, but he wouldn't close it out. But still, it doesn't seem like that's one of our targets.
Yeah, I mean, if he has other suitors that are bigger than Inter Miami, yeah, it's a pleasure to play with Messi. But I mean, he's still a young player that wants to, move upwards, right?
No,
So,
but he's still a player that want that
well,
yeah, that,
young
and
enough.
it's sad because if Jorge Mas wants to sell more jerseys, that's the way to do it.
Oh wait, for a second I thought you were talking about somebody else.
No,
Yeah, that's why I said young, like
yeah,
Brian Rodriguez is where my mind. I wasn't 100% paying attention, to be honest.
Brian Rodriguez. He's one of the guys that they're
Yeah,
looking at.
but
Apparently, it's a
he's the
split
guy
deal.
that I was referencing, where he still wants to make. He's still young enough, and he wants to go upwards in his career. And while it's a pleasure to play with Miami, maybe going to another team and apparently there's other um, interested suitors. So, anyways, I don't. My point was just that the window is so short. It's hard to make a move, and if and I put in the ticker there, like, did Inter, basically I wrote something to the effect that, did Inter Miami um actually try to make a move and fail, which is what I think is the whole thing with this. When you say we would possibly get Di Maria and he's not coming, good job getting rid of Robert Taylor for no reason. Like, it feels like maybe they made room for a player that didn't pan out. So I wouldn't even say, like, a lot of times I'm on here and I'm blaming the ownership for some of the problems that we have. On this one, sometimes just things don't work out. I think I am confident. I don't know for anything. I don't have but I'm pretty confident that they made an effort. They've made efforts that, Brian Rodriguez has said that he was reached out to. Di Maria was reached out to. They made efforts, but it's like, it's such a short window, and those efforts, it would have had to have already been basically all lined up and just waiting for a signature, right, before that window even opened. And then on top of that, what somebody else brought up in last week's show was just getting the paperwork from the government to become your visa would be a challenge in that short period of time as well. So it just feels like it felt like an uphill battle to begin with. That whatever changes they were going to make probably needed to be made. I don't even before that window, or at least, like I said, agreed to. They had to have been lined up and agreed to, and that I feel like they swung and missed is basically it. And
Yeah,
I can't get mad at them for trying. That's my point.
and yet it's tough, Peter. I mean, it just doesn't seem like it's doable. I mean, no matter it's just too small of a time. I mean, what's Ronaldo going to do? Come play here for a month and then, make an agreement with another team that's going to take over. He's going to get to play with them the rest of the year. And I think there are exceptions from FIFA because supposedly you can't play for two teams in 6 months or whatever. I think that's what the rule is, or
Okay.
a year. I don't know what the contract would be like. So I don't know if there's exceptions that were made, but I would imagine so. But still, it's really
If there
tough.
was an exception that was going to be made, it would have been made for Inter Miami. Let's be honest. Anybody there, we have a lot of haters, and I think actually this voicemail that I want to get to soon. I started to listen to it. I didn't finish it. It does, I think, touch on being hated. Um, and we are probably, well, not probably, we are the most hated team in this country, at least, and to some extent for a good reason, right? I mean, if there was going to be a special accommodation, we are the club that would get that. I mean, we were invited to join the Club World Cup. We didn't earn it. We were invited, and that rubs people the wrong way. If Messi was on your team in, say, I don't know, Salt Lake, which wouldn't that be funny? Um, uh, you know, you would have gotten the accommodations, right? It's
Yeah.
just it
And
is what
we're
it is.
like the other team that got invited because even LAFC, who played America to gain that entrance, they had to play basically a playoff game. Winner takes all type of tournament thing, so they can come in. So we were kind of like shooed in.
Uh, Chris Arjun is mentioning that as far as players, Inter are not building for the long term, only in it for the moolah. I'm surprised they didn't get Ronaldo and make a bucket load of money of him during the FIFA Club World Cup, which is what we've been talking about on and off for the last several weeks when I've been saying, are we a t-shirt company or are we an actual, soccer club? Feels like we're more of a t-shirt company. And had they brought in Ronaldo, it would be
Confirmed.
confirmed.
That's what we are.
The argument would be over. Same thing goes for Neymar. If they brought in Neymar, same thing, confirmed. Although he got
Let's
the
talk
Rona.
about that.
He got the Rona.
Let's supposedly, I mean, it came out. I know I saw it on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw it
and
too.
they were saying that he asked for permission from his club, from Santos, and they saw him go to the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah, right. And
So
apparently he has coronavirus now too, right?
well, that means he's not coming then.
Yeah, he's I mean, anybody can get that nowadays. But it sets you back.
Yeah, and I know somebody that just got it too this week. So it's
It's
coming
still
back.
around, and it can happen to anybody, but it'll set him back for a few weeks, probably.
Yeah.
And
We'll
and then
see.
and then he can get that corona fog that people have sometimes. He'll never be the same. Who knows? Maybe it could fit. Maybe the fog will help. Will fix him getting injured every 5 minutes. I don't know.
Yes. I don't know, Peter Brown, but yeah, are we ready for the World Cup? No.
No.
We lost great players. You said it, Gressel and
Yeah.
Taylor, who were not replaced. So I'm worried.
And I was noticing. I was surprised. So Taylor is with Austin. I assumed he would instantly be part of their starting lineup. He's not. He's a sub over in Austin. I'm surprised by that. Yeah.
I was okay like the first couple of games, but now, I mean, that guy should be a starter in any team that he's in. So
Yeah, no, he's coming off the bench, and I don't even know if he's coming off the bench, but I know he's on the bench. So I was surprised by that. Like, I would start the guy. I like him. I would start the guy.
Damn.
Jerry Barrios is mentioning that Brian Rodriguez would have been the perfect striker we need, and literally said, "Get me." The issue is the negotiating going on, so that player is still there for a mere 6 to 7 million transfer.
So is he going to be? I mean, we have a DP position available. Is he going to be the DP?
Is he worthy of a designated player spot?
I don't think so, man. I mean, I know he's good.
When he was with LA FC, he was a young designated player. Now, he was young. It's the beginning of his career, and we talked about that a little bit last week. I haven't watched him at Club America. I don't watch any League MX. I don't watch any of it. So I have no clue if how well he's doing or what. Is he worth $6 to $7 million in a transfer fee?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if he gets that, he's a DP, right? He gets that, he's a designated player. I don't know if he's worth it or not. I don't. You guys in the chat could tell me. Obviously, Jerry feels like he's worth it. I don't know. I would. My gut reaction is no, he's not worth it. But at the same time, I'm always crying over the fact that I want people that are a little bit younger. And he is younger. How old is Brian? How old is he? He is 25. Perfect. That's a great age. Still in his prime. He's not part of the over 50 club like me and Messi, and Suarez and Busquets. But
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts? What do you guys think? Are we gonna be successful, or are we gonna like crash out and Club World Cup?
So our first game, and somebody had asked in the chat if we're gonna go to the games or not. I'm not sure yet. We talked about it, but none of us have made a commitment. Every once in a while in our little group chat, every once in a while, one of us in the group chat says, "Hey, we interested in somebody," and then nobody answers for like 2 days, and then I'll throw out pricing, and then somebody will say, "Are we interested?" And there's no answer. And then another person that wasn't answering is now asking if we're, I mean, I don't know. Meanwhile, to be honest, tickets are starting to sell. So I sent you a screenshot, Ed, of like seats in the corner that were like 80 something dollars. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're gone.
Oh, fiddlesticks.
Those are gone. Now the only thing that would be within our price range would be the 300 level, but there are some like,
Nosebleed,
huh?
nosebleed
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
tickets.
Oh yeah, nosebleed. But for like $61.35. So those are cheap. Those are cheap. They're the you know, Sean Callahan is saying that the betting line for the first game favors Miami for whatever that is worth. So now, Al Ali is apparently, according to my Google search, again, never watched them. They are the most successful club in Africa. The most successful club in Africa. I do know that they played against, what was it, L.A. and beat them last. Was it last year? I think it was L.A. and they beat them. So this is not going to be an easy game, but that is probably the only game that we have a chance.
So what you're telling me, Peter, is that we got a chance. There's a chance.
I don't know, but because not on top of the fact that this team has not brought in any reinforcements, they've also got a boatload of injuries on the defense, and our defense is like Swiss cheese as is. Now on top of that, you throw in injuries. I mean, is Alba going to be ready to play? I don't know. You know, so many of our defenders went down. They all went down in the same game too. So, and then I also have concerns with this international window. Messi's out playing with Argentina right now. I think he's got a game today or tomorrow, and he had one the other day.
Or
And
Tuesday.
so I think his last game is what, maybe on the 10th or something like that. And so then our game against Al Ali is on the 14th. You know, is he going to have tired legs, long traveling? I mean, is he going to be ready? He's not training with the team, clearly. Sean Callahan is saying, rumor is you can get a $20 ticket through MDC. What is MDC? Miami-Dade Community College? What's MDC? I don't know what MDC is. But according to Ticketmaster, the cheapest price is $61 and some change.
Oh, hot dog.
How do you feel, Ed, about our chances?
I don't think we're going to be good.
Okay.
Somebody, I think, put that we might make another fiasco like when we went to Saudi Arabia where they kicked our rears.
Yeah.
Those preseason games that we did the first season.
Yeah.
Oh man, those hurt. And we basically traveled around the world, and to showcase the brand, the Inter Miami brand, and we got whooped.
Yeah, that's what Liam was saying, is a repeat of the Saudi preseason. It might be. And then actually, I heard some pundits talking about this, and it made me kind of, I think I would agree with them, is so a storyline going through the Club World Cup too is it's not selling well. And when in theory, the idea of Inter Miami kicking off the tournament at their hometown sounds good, right? It sounds good. But when these tickets were originally released, they were way overpriced. And you have people, and this is where my mind was. So I ran into a friend of ours. We have a friend that works for MLS, Gabe Gabor. I ran into him. He asked me if I was going to go to the Club World Cup. And at the time I said, I don't think so. And he was like, why? Don't you want to see them playing on the biggest stage in the cool stadium and blah, 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 and play against, Palmeiras and stuff like that. And my thought was, yeah, of course. But this team already charges me a lot of money for the season. And then on top of that, I chose to opt in to the CONCACAF Champions Cup. And then I also chose, so these are my choices, I'm making it clear, I chose to opt in for Leagues Cup. So that's a lot of money this team's got from me. And now it's like, okay, on top of that, you're asking me to pay for another tournament. Now, it's maybe a cool tournament and all that. Point, this whole long story is maybe it wasn't such a good idea to put Inter Miami's first game in their own home because we get the chance to see Messi every single weekend. So it's not the big deal, and that's crazy to think that we are kind of like, oh, it's just Messi, whatever. I see him next week. It's kind of funny to think that we're kind of like passe about it being Messi, but it's true because we all have a limited budget, and it's like, well, I've already paid for these games that I'm guaranteed to see Messi as long as he's not hurt. I'm guaranteed to see Messi play in. So maybe it would have been a smarter idea to put this game in some place like, I don't know, Dallas or Kansas or New York or someplace else. What do you
Where
think,
you
guys?
know it's gonna sell out because people are gonna they don't see Messi as often as we do.
And they're going
People
to
are
go
we
nuts and they're going to fill the stadium.
desensitized. Yeah, we don't even care about it anymore. It's true. I've missed a couple of games, Peter Brown, and I'm a big fan.
I haven't
Oh yeah,
because I'm a better fan.
you are. You are. I was making fun. I think of Julio the other day, saying that he was a bad fan because he didn't go to a game or something. You're a better fan, definitely.
Yeah. I've not missed a game. I don't think I've missed a game in at least 2 years. Usually there's like one game a year I might miss for family reasons or something, but I definitely haven't missed one this year.
You
And
live and breathe Inter Miami, Peter Brown. Your whole wardrobe is Inter Miami. That's why my wife gets complains that I always wear Inter Miami stuff. I wore this hat today, and she's like, everything's Inter Miami. Everything's Inter Miami. And my grandkids, they love it because it's easy to give me presents, just Inter Miami stuff, and I'm cool with it.
yeah, I mean, we were just recently in a store. It wasn't Caneswear. I didn't buy anything, but I was looking, and because we were in Dick's Sporting Goods, and it's just like we went in there to buy my wife some on cloud shoes. It was part of her Mother's Day present that she returned for whatever reason, so she wanted to get the shoe again now. And so we were there to get that. But before we went to the back of the store to get her shoes, she sees me drifting over to the left, and she's like, "You're gonna go look at Enter Miami, aren't you?" I go, "Yeah, let's go." Because and she's not like, I mean, she's not sitting there saying, "Oh, you have too much." I'm just telling her like, "Look, if I had indefinite money, I don't all this stuff." But there's stuff there that I have they had stuff there that I had not seen at the stadium, I have not seen at Caneswear. They had stuff that and I want. I can't deny. I want it. I want the stuff. I like the stuff. I like all the gear. So
Miami underwear, boxers, and
yeah.
briefs. They're that's just socks. You
Yeah.
name it.
So Chris Arjun is stirring things up in here, saying Messi may be holding off from a contract extension because he is leaving at the end of 2025 and joining Old Boys with a farewell after the World Cup. I disagree, Chris. I think you're just trying to stir the pot. Um, I disagree with you. I firmly believe he is re-signing. Um, and
He
I think it takes a
He
while.
likes drama for your mama, man. That's what it is. He wants the drama. His kids love it here. His wife adores this place. They're
Yeah.
not going.
There was some article I was just reading recently about how much she enjoys being here. And the kids, and that the kids, when they went to, I think Paris, it was hard for them to kind of integrate into the schools, and here it was so easy. It's because down here we're used to integrating people that don't speak English. Like I'm assuming, I don't know for a fact, but I'm assuming his kids did not speak English before getting here, and they had to probably go into those ESOL classes. Um,
Right.
like just like my nephew, I have what is he a nephew? I guess my my well, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, where in the family line is he? On my wife's side. But this little kid, he came from Brazil and he had to go into the ESOL classes as well. Um, but yeah, they loved it. They love it here. I think the only reason it's taking a long time to sign this deal is because Messi's deal is not as easy as say Alba, where it's just Inter Miami stroking a check, right? It involves Apple. It involves Adidas. It involves Inter Miami. It involves Inter Miami as a league. I'm sorry, MLS as a league So there's a lot of elements to a Messi contract that does not impact, like, it's not like other players. So I
It's
disagree with
always
you,
messy.
Chris.
It's always messy, Peter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look, I could be wrong, and we could see him go, but I don't think so. I think the fact that Alba signed tells you everything. I think he's coming
Yeah,
back. Don't worry. Don't worry. I think he
me too.
will grace. He may only sign a 1-year deal and just play one season in the Inter Miami Stadium, even though the rumors too. But he may only play one, and then you may be right, Chris. Finish off at Newell's Old Boy. So it's possible.
But the
But here,
security.
what YCA is saying is, I was about to bring up, is for security reasons, I don't think Messi will return to his home country to play with his old club. That was a issue that was brought up last time, when there was all these rumors around Messi, whether or not he was going to come to Inter Miami or not. Newell's obviously was mentioned, and the security element was a big part of it. So yeah, I think I agree with that statement. So
Yeah, tough for
any
that to happen just because
and
of
he'll be
that. Yeah,
back.
I don't think he's going to retire in Argentina just because of that. Because it's dangerous for him, for his wife, for his kids, his
And at
whole
the end of the
family.
day, yeah, at the end of the day, what players get to a point, and I mean, when they're super young, you do whatever you have to do to make it, right? Screw the family. We're going. We got to go. We got to go. But then you get to a certain point. All these players get to that certain point in their career to where it's more about the family, and they choose a destination, less about the team and more about the families, and how much they like or don't like an area, and they like it here, and that's gonna weigh heavily on a player like that. So, um, oh yeah, Mr. Krabs says security reasons. Messi is not Colombian. I don't know what that means. Um,
Well, he's saying he thinks that Argentina is safer, but it's not. If you guys don't,
Colombia is safe. I mean, why would you say Colombia is not safe? Is that if
well,
that's the statement? I've been there.
South
I
American
always felt
countries
safe.
they're all pretty dangerous. In Argentina, I think they recently had I forgot which player, his brother or father or something like that, was taken hostage. So if that happens to a player that's somewhat known in Argentina, it can happen to the best player in the world.
Yeah. I didn't expect this conversation to go towards Messi signing a contract, but this seems to be what everybody wants to talk about. Young 305 says, the team got to win in order to keep Messi. I don't think that plays a part in it. I really don't. I think he will sign the contract whether whether they win or lose. He will sign the contract based on whether he likes it in this city, whether he likes the project. Of course, he wants to win and he gets frustrated, but I don't think that has anything to do with signing the contract. Now, could there be some stipulations in his contract that, hey, we gotta make some changes? But at the end of the day, Inter Miami, I think they are stretching the rules as much as you possibly can. And as much as we may complain about, hey, we need to win, we need more talent around him, this and that. They have to play within the league rules, and it is not. That was the one thing that I thought, bringing Messi to this club or this league, I thought we would see instant changes, and we have not seen instant changes. I'm shocked by that. I really did think they would make, and I'm not saying get rid of their entire system of the salary cap and all that stuff, but open it up a lot more. And it has not happened. So, oh yeah, Mr. Krabs saying a 1994 Colombian player got killed for scoring. I know that, but that was 1994. That's a long time ago. Let me tell you, Colombia has changed a lot since that time. I could tell you because I've been to Colombia I don't know, 20 times. Now, granted, I only go to the one area. I go to El Poblado in Medellin. I don't know the rest of the country, but I talk to people from Colombia every single day. Well, 5 days a week, and like they get when I ask them questions. Like I remember I was watching the show Narcos, which took place about Colombia and stuff. And I was watching Narcos, and I was telling my team members, the people I work with, like asking them questions about Narcos and the accuracy. They hated the fact that I was even talking about it because it's a time period of their country that they're embarrassed about and they don't like it. So it's a lot different than it was back in 1994. Actually, in that show, I perked up at one point because at one point they do talk about El Poblado, and there was like some sort of bad situation that happened there, like a killing or something like that. And I'm like, oh, I know that area. And they were showing it like what they thought it looked like back then, obviously recreation. And I was like, well, it looks different now. I'll tell you that, it looks a lot different. But Nick
Yeah.
Smith mentioning about Messi. There were sources in Argentina that said his re-signing is imminent. That was said on Thursday during the game. Yeah, I've seen the same kind of reports. I'm confident he's re-signing. So, hey, let's take a second and let's play a voicemail. If you want to leave a call, 786-474-4435. We have one right here.
It's time for your voicemail. Hello.
What's up, mi gente? It's been more than a minute. It's your boy Yankee Yank. I hope that everyone's doing well. Mi gente, you guys, so much has happened since the last that I've called, which was back in the fall, I think it was. You guys have clearly secured your role as the heel-hated villains of the entire league. We resent you. We can't stand you. And it's to the point where we want to see you fail. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to fail. You guys might be ready for Club World Cup. But you guys, for reasons partially due from how you came into the league to the fact that there's a perception, which is probably not true, that MLS has catered everything towards you, which Peter called me out on that in the fall, and there's no evidence of that, so I had to step back and say that that's perception. But I can tell you that when you guys play, my feeling is the rest of the league wants to see you fail. They're not flying the MLS banner. Now, that's not everybody, but I think that's a lot of us. I think there's a lot of us who resent the fact that it's harder to catch the games because of the whole Messi Apple TV thing. But in the end, it's better to be hated and feared than ignored and just clowned. Holler at you later, players.
All right, good to hear from Yankee Boy. Those of you that don't know, Yankee Boy's been around our podcasts or shows or whatever for years and years and years. Back when we did an audio-only version, we would bring him on for we would joke around, call it a 1 minute, and it was always like a 5-6 minute bit that he would call in and rant about something. He's up in Maryland and a huge Puerto Rican fan, Puerto Rico fan. He's not Puerto Rican, but he is a Puerto Rico fan.
His wife.
Dude, his wife is Puerto Rican. But yeah, we are the villain. And that is interesting though, because there's always that thing like, okay, if your team is not in a tournament, like say Champions Cup, when we're booted out and Vancouver is there playing, I'm cheering for Vancouver, even though they got destroyed. I'm cheering for Vancouver because they are an MLS team, right? I'm not deeply cheering for them. It's a very light cheer, but it's like one of those things. You want your league to represent well. I agree with Yankee Boy in that we don't get that benefit. I think when we lose and if we get destroyed, which is a good possibility, it's just going to be, we're just going to have to live with like meme after meme of people just dancing on our grave.
Oh, yeah. The hate's going to be intense. And they're going to, enjoy every painful goal that we might take. And I'm worried, Peter. It's going to be tough for us. I really think it's going to be tough.
Yeah, but it's not just going to be tough for us. I think it's going to be tough for the entire league because it goes back to, it just doesn't seem right. And we should switch gears a little bit and talk about another topic that's related around this. But it just doesn't seem right that we're expected to compete against clubs of the European level with our payroll situation. We just can't. You can't financially pay for the players that they have. You just can't. So it's almost like it's an unfair, situation. So, you know, I don't know. But I do kind of revel in being the most hated team. So that is kind of fun. Anyways, switching gears a little bit, Ed, on the same kind of topic. Gosh, what about this screen? That one might be better. I have buttons. I want to push them once in a while. I should have pulled down this image, but I think at this point, I think this was brought up by on our show last week by Anu Weissman out of Atlanta. At that time, hadn't read anything, didn't really know anything about the whole situation with Seattle and the payment of players, the prize money that they get. But so I'm sure everybody's at this point seen the images of Seattle players wearing their cash grab T-shirts. I actually want that T-shirt. I thought it was pretty well done. You could buy it. I saw it I Googled. I found it on a website. And then I think on the back it said something about fair share. So the players kind of coming together and voicing their opinion. The fact that they do not like that. Like, what is it? I think the league, each team gets around $9.5 million, something to that effect, and the players are only allowed to collect like $1 million, and it's not $1 million per player. I think it's split amongst themselves.
Yep, that's how it is. That's what I read too.
Yeah, so obviously the MLSPA voiced their opinions against it, but at the end of the day, they're all playing against a CBA. They all bargained and they agreed to it. The players agreed to it. Now, of course, when they agreed to it, they didn't know that this tournament was going to be in around in this version of the template. Club World Cup was clearly around, but not this many teams and this situation, and probably not even this kind of money. I was probably not there before, so it does seem unfair, but. Where do you stand on this, Ed? I mean, do you think it's the greedy owners keeping all the money and screw the man and pay your players, or is it shut up? You paid your you signed the contract. Get a better contract next time.
Yeah, they need to. Definitely look into a better contract because I think they screwed themselves on this one. But at the same time, the team should have said, you know what? Well, let's help out the players. Let's give them.
Well, it's a league. It's the league. The teams can't do anything about it. The league has to agree.
So the league has to agree, and the team's happy because they keep the money, or does the league keep the money?
Teams, but keep in mind it's all single entity. So it all goes back into the bigger pot, I guess. I don't know how exactly that works out. Like, does Inter Miami itself as a corporation get to keep the $9.5 million, or does it go into the bigger corporate pot? I don't really know.
Miles, give me a second here. I'm going to tell my connection to get him on the phone.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't have him on speed dial, but
no, but I'll tell my connection, the guy that does have that phone number.
Yeah.
And he'll answer me right now. I'm going to send him a message right now as we speak, Peter, so he can do his thing. Let's see if it works. I sent the message. So
all right. Well,
hopefully, what time we got left in this show? Oh man, we got a little under 20 minutes. So yeah, I don't think I don't know. Maybe we'll be lucky.
So from what I understand, from I was reading some tweets about it today, and while I was, floating around in the pool,
show off.
I was floating around in the pool. This is my week, listening to a book on tape from Paul Stanley. Paul Stanley is the lead singer of Kiss. So I'm listening to his book, reading about Inter Miami, and just chilling. Anyways, some of the reports that I read was that the league was negotiating with the Players Association, but the negotiation went wrong for the players. The league went hard the other direction. Basically saying, fine, you get less. Something to that effect. They're playing hardball, the league is right now, for some reason. I don't know why. It looks ugly. Like I'm not one of these people that I could see the owner's perspective a little bit. Like, it's easy to say, hey, the little man needs to always get and screw the greedy billionaires. Yeah, but those greedy billionaires are the ones that are building the training facilities, building 2 stadiums. They're the ones putting out the money in. But without the players, you got nothing, right? So it is a balance. And so while I think it makes sense that the owners get the lion's share of the money to reinvest, hopefully, reinvest into the club, which is what I would hope, but you can't make anybody reinvest, but I would hope that that's what they're doing and reinvesting in the club. But the players need to earn more, get more than, say, I think it ends up being like 10% of the prize money is what they're able to, the pot that they're able to get. And it definitely needs to be a larger percentage. You can't get the same prize money as, say, Real Madrid per se, I don't think, because that's a much bigger corporation, much bigger. They got more money at their finger. They don't need the 9.5. The club doesn't need the 9.5 million. They could give it all to the players if they want, I guess. I don't know what they're doing, but in what happens to me is I think the league looks bad in this situation, because I think everybody is going to look and say, because that's just the culture that we're in these days, to villainize people with money. And so, we like to villainize billionaires, where it's like, we all wish we were a billionaire. I don't have a problem with somebody being a billionaire. Good for you. But at the same time, pay your employees a fair wage. And it seems wrong that they're getting such a small percentage of that prize money. So, and I think there is one way to make a change. And it goes right back to who we were talking about before. One person speaks up. The one person that probably won't speak up, but the one person that needs to speak up, Messi. If Messi spoke up in support of, say, what the Seattle players did, I think it changes.
Oh yeah, and he could do it because it's nothing just changed for him. He might even tell the rest of the
You
team.
take my percentage. Just take mine.
Yeah, give the other to the players because it's
But I don't see him being that type of person either. He seems to be a little more reserved, a little more quiet. I don't know if he is the spokesman type. I don't get the feeling that he is.
Yeah, he's not that leader that would do that. He's too chill. Like maybe Ronaldo would probably do it because he's got a much more
a little more fire
personality. Yeah, but yeah, Messi he is rather laid back, and he's kind of, what's that guy from that's on that show? Oh gosh, I forgot his name. Larry.
David? I don't know.
Yeah. He's always doing
Curb
that,
Your Enthusiasm?
Yeah, he's always doing. He's like, I don't really, want the problem, or he's laid back and doesn't want the problem. So
I don't know. I don't know. What is the chat? Nobody in the chat's kind of quiet about this topic. I thought you guys might have something to say about the billionaires, but been kind of quiet in there. The other thing is, if they really wanted to make a movement, it would have needed to be all 3 teams, or 4 teams, I guess. But at the time, what, three or four? The 3 teams that were already guaranteed to be in, and then the 4th would being what, LAFC? Is that 4? Is it 4 or 3? That's 3.
Inter Miami and LAFC.
LA. Okay, 3 teams. So yeah, all 3 teams would have needed to wear that shirt. Now, if Messi was seen walking out on the field with that shirt, even if he didn't open his mouth, if he just walked out on the field with that shirt, it might change something.
And that shirt would sell out.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Smith, comparing Messi to Larry David is something I'd expect to come up. I think is not something I'd expect to come up. Yeah, I think that is a strange. Because what you're saying is like basically Messi is George Costanza, because Larry David is the model of what George Costanza was on. And I'm more familiar with the Seinfeld show than I am Curb Your Enthusiasm. I really didn't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm much, but I did watch everything of Seinfeld. Love that show. And I cannot see George and Messi. That's not. I don't see that.
Right, I get you, but no, that's why I'm saying Larry David's a little bit more because he's like, doesn't want problems. He's,
But Larry David has got a short fuse too. He'll go and curse somebody out.
oh, Messi has lately too, as in his old
Only
age.
with referees.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if Messi's the type to stand up for a cause. Kind of think about like other big name players, like
Yeah,
there's other big name players in other sports that also don't stand up for a cause, and I don't see him as a player that stands up for a
yeah.
cause. So it's maybe they make some noise this time for maybe it's a better they can make more money in the future, in the future tournaments, but seems I think it's a bad look for MLS at the end of the day. I think, especially when we're talking about players that are making some players that are making around 100 grand a year playing up against players that are making millions. And I'm not saying it's a different league, but still give them an opportunity to make some bigger dangle. You want them to like give every ounce of their body, dangle that carrot, that money carrot, dangle that check in front of their face and say, look guys, give it everything you got, and not and win it
And
for
we'll
us,
we'll
which still is
do
probably
yeah,
not enough. I think the entire CONCACAF region might get destroyed, not just us. This entire region, I think, is going to get schooled and get a little bit destroyed in the Club World Cup. But it should be fun to watch, hopefully. Well, that was the other thing is I was talking to some people, and they were like asking if I was going. And I was like, do I want to pay to watch my club get destroyed? Because that's likely what's going to happen.
yeah. I think maybe only the Mexican teams out of CONCACAF will do an okay job, but yeah, everybody else,
Okay
including maybe
job though. Okay job. Not
yeah,
do any of the CONCACAF teams make it out of the first round?
maybe a Mexican team. That's
Maybe.
my thoughts. That's
Is
what I
there
think.
any chance of an MLS team making it out of the first round?
Maybe Inter Miami.
I think
May no.
we're the biggest chance, right? I mean, we have to be that team because we have the big name player. But LAFC, they could do it. They are still a good team.
Yeah, I think Seattle's probably going to get whooped. Watch it be the other way around. They'll be the only ones
It's
in.
possible. Anything can happen. And I think we also have I don't remember their exact groups that the other teams are in. I didn't pull it up. But I think our group is better than say Seattle's group. We have a better chance based on our group than Seattle does.
Yeah.
What
I agree.
What are the groups?
Them out, yeah. See who they're playing, who they're up against. Seattle and LAFC's group.
Yeah.
Not coming up, huh?
No, I got it. Just give me a second. Give me a second, Ed.
Look at you. There you go. Oof, LAFC, that group's tough. Chelsea, oh my goodness. Was that Flamengo?
So going back to Seattle's group, that Seattle's playing against Botafogo. What is that? Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain.
Atletico Madrid and PSG.
Atletico Madrid, yeah. Atletico. Yeah, I said the wrong Madrid.
Goodness, yeah.
The wrong Madrid. Yeah. I knew that. I knew what the logo is, but I just said the wrong thing.
Yeah, Seattle, dude.
Seattle's got no chance.
Yeah. Oof.
Seattle's got no chance.
Tough too, man. Who's that? What teams are those?
What's that?
Chelsea. LAFC too. Look at they got Chelsea. The other one's Flamengo, I think. And what's the other team? I can't see.
Oh wait, I couldn't tell. Let me see if I could do this. I just want to try to make it bigger.
Yeah, because we can't really tell what.
Here we go.
What the other team is for that LAFC is playing, but yeah.
So LAFC is playing Flamengo. I don't know what that is. I can't tell what that is. And Chelsea.
yeah, that whoever those guys are, I can't really tell what the logo is, but
Let's
yeah,
see if it breaks it down. Oh, it'll break it down here. Group
go.
D.
There you
Group
go.
D. Group D is
Another African team.
who is this? Espérance Sportive de Tunis.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
Tunisia.
Tunisia?
That's a team. Yeah. So, yeah, they gotta maybe they could win that game, but
Maybe. Oh, and we only say that because we don't know anything about the team.
it's an
That's the only
African team.
reason we say that. We don't know anything about the team.
Yeah, Northern African team, and but tough, man. Chelsea, forget it. And Flamenco, forget it, man.
Yeah, Flamengo. That's
That
the most popular team in all
Brazil,
of Brazil.
maybe the world, because they got a lot of people.
I don't think they're the most popular team in the
But
world, Ed.
yeah,
But
I think so. 'Cause they got a lot of people. Well, maybe not in the world, but you're right. But at least in Brazil.
yeah, they are a very popular team, though. I did get a chance to see Flamengo play once. When I saw Flamengo play against um, Atletico Paranaense, two teams of the same colors, similar logos. Yeah, so it was Atletico Paranaense against Flamengo in Atletico Paranaense's stadium. So,
Wow.
Wycia is saying that the tickets for the Miami versus PSG will be sold out. I'm sure they will. Do you want to see?
But but
We can go look.
if Miami versus PSG,
Sold out. Oh, Miami will be so. Oh, Miami versus PSG. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Miami. Let's see what it looks like right now.
yeah, Miami
Where
versus LA.
where is it? Miami versus. That's a hard. Where is the Miami versus? Where is that? Let's just do this. It could help me find stuff. Boom, boom.
Yeah,
Boom. Boca Juniors, Madrid, Al Hilal, Porto, Miami versus Porto. Well, I mean, we're that's PSG's. I was just curious about the next Inter Miami game. Where's the next Inter Miami game?
I think
The
they play.
second Inter Miami game is against Palmeiras.
Yeah,
The whole thing about PSG, yeah, it threw me off with that question. If we get out of the group stage, yeah, it could be. But
if
I mean,
yeah.
just anyways, whatever. Doesn't matter.
You thought they were actually going to play.
It threw me off with this question. I even though as I know what the group is, it still threw me off. I don't know. I got confused. But
Look at that. Miami will not PSG.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. My mistake for getting duped, confused. But some of the other games, like Boca Juniors versus Benfica, that's probably gonna sell well, and that's at the Hard Rock. However, it does have some tickets as cheap as $47.68. They've got seats as cheap as that. Now that's on a Monday, so
yeah. Wow.
a little bit harder. But anyways, I had this pulled up originally to just to talk about what was left. This is what's left with with the stadium, for the first game. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it started to sell better once they reduced the prices. Your best seat in the house is worth $1,528.
Whoa.
You want that one, Ed?
Oh man. Does it come with an extra kidney? I mean, what?
And that's over here. It
It's not
shows
even that.
when
Yeah.
I highlight, it's over in the corner there. It's not even a good ticket.
No. Wow. They're just trying to see if somebody will fall for it.
It's a resale
Not
market.
lie.
It's on the resale market.
Wow.
Anyways. We're going to get destroyed, guys.
Not looking good. Hoping for the best, but expecting the worst.
So hopefully everybody can make it to the game if you're local. Hopefully we make it to the game. We're still not sure if we're going to do it, but next week at least we will have a game to talk about. We will know, if we got destroyed in our first game, because that's the real question. Is like I think our only chance is the first game. And
Yeah.
can we win the first game and get a tie against, say, Palmeiras? Maybe. And so I don't know.
Maybe, and that way we qualify for the next round, hopefully with a couple of ties and a win.
Chris Arjun saying the prices are extortion, daylight robbery. Not anymore. They did bring them down. But FIFA's doing this surge pricing thing, and it was crazy. That ticket I just was showing was a resale ticket, so that's just somebody that thinks they can get that money for it. But it was, when I originally looked at tickets a couple months ago when they first went on sale, it was like over $300 and something just to get in the door. The worst seat in the building was over $300. So they've come down quite a bit. But FIFA tried to rip everybody off for sure, and it's not selling. And they will rip you off in other games if they feel like they can. So.
Well, I don't know. You could always try what they did for the Copa America, where you went in through the AC duct.
They can't. Yeah. They we hopefully the security is much better at the at this game. If it's not, then you start wondering about the security of the Hard Rock itself. So.
And Chris Arjun's talking about the parking prices. Ooh, we forgot about that.
I didn't forget about it, but I haven't looked. But I imagine it's going to be more than what Inter Miami ticket prices are, which are Inter Miami parking ticket, day of or whatever, it's $50. Now, I get it for cheaper because I buy it in bulk. But it's $50 to park at Inter Miami Stadium. I'm sure at Hard Rock it's going to be a good $70, right?
Wow.
Could the price of parking be more expensive than your ticket to get into the stadium? Because if I bought a ticket at the cheapest price that's available currently, is $61.35, could my parking cost more than that ticket price? The answer is probably yes. I don't go to Dolphins games. I haven't been to one in like 10 years. But, and when I went, I was a guest of somebody else that had tickets, so I didn't pay for anything. So yeah, that's an issue too, right? Is parking.
It is, man. It's expensive. So
we may be parking our butts in front of the TV and watching it that way. You never know; it could happen. So
let's find a place to watch it, Peter, because that's the way it's looking so far.
Yeah, maybe. All right, everybody. What are in the works, Ed? What's going on? Do we have any other things coming out?
There will be a show tomorrow for sure, so check that out. Marco and I will be doing this thing again, but in Spanish tomorrow, probably at 9ish. Be sure to look out for that. And there should also be, apologies to everybody. A lot of things been going on. I haven't been able to finish up the construction video, but that should be out this week too. And since there's nothing else to do, you get to watch that.
There you go. All right, everybody. Thanks to everybody that was in the. Julio Enriquez is asking who has the TV rights for Club World Cup. It's I don't even know how to DAZN, DAZN, and apparently it's free. So get the app. I think you can get it on your TV. I've downloaded it on my iPad, but I think you could download it on your TV to your smart TV. But apparently it's supposed to be free on that DAZN, DAZN. I'm not really all that familiar with that network or anything, but apparently it's there. So check that out. Anyways, thanks to everybody in the chat. You guys made it a lot of fun. So appreciate everybody in there. And we will see you next week here, and see you tomorrow with Ed in Spanish. See you, everybody. Thanks.